And a very good afternoon. This is vk3sl. Welcome to the afternoon dinner time missions, the Corona special, where we mine the archives and strut our stuff and try and make sense of all of this madness in our midst. But there are lots of other ways. We just have to be a little bit more inward, and we have to be creative. We have to look at our own individual plight and how we react to our own environments. Does that make sense? No, it's just a roundabout way of me justifying mining the archive here. Well, not a lot to report, but the sun's out. That's the most important thing of all, and I think we need all to get our bugles out and respond to the challenge. vk3sl. vk3sl test missions on 160 metres in the narrowband FM mode. You've been listening to Bugle Call Rag. It's a recording made by Benny Goodman and his band. Late 1930s, it's an all-time swing classic off the original shellac on turntable number 2. Yes, I do like to do things in an authentic fashion where possible. But I'm starting to get itchy in this room, so I probably won't stay in here for much longer, but we'll continue to test to about 7ish as per usual, all being well, with an apology to the grey liners who may be wondering what's going on, if you do have a message, vk3sl at hotmail.com. I certainly don't want to tread on anyone's shoes. There's also a streaming service for those who do want to be entertained. Just have a look at my YouTube channel. A dedicated YouTube channel to these missions, vk3sl is the name of the channel. So there we go. Disclaimers abound. Let's have a look. What's on the other turntable? Yes, it's Nat Ganella and his Georgians, and a topic that's strong in this household at the moment because we're thinking about moving the caravan. Yes, that'll be great when we move it because we'll be able to use it a lot more. People know what I mean. VK3SL testing. Yes, it's Caravan, a well-known Ellington song performed by Nat Ganella and his Georgians. Recording from the 1930s on a parlophone. This is VK3SL Test Missions on 160, and there is a record lined up which I really want to hear. It intrigues me. I'm quite fascinated by the Bert Furman groups in Britain in the 1920s. He was an interesting band leader and he had lots of great musicians go through the ensemble, including Mr. Goldberg, who ended up in Australia. Max Goldberg would almost certainly be the trumpeter on this. It's a recording of the Rhythmic 8 and a tune called Laughing at the Rain. This is VK3SL testing.
Don't stop repining, better times must come again. Till the sun commences shining, just keep laughing at the rain. Don't forget that each tomorrow brings a hope that's not in vain. Be like me and hide your sorrow, just keep laughing at the rain. Take a tip from me, use philosophy, life is just what you make it. Someday you'll be glad that you had my advice, so take it, then you see your silver lining. Better times must come again, till the sun commences shining, just keep laughing at the rain.
Star Picardie at the end there. We heard the Rhythmic 8 from 1931. Nothing like a dance band tune in a minor key. Yes, intrigued me, that record. It's on an old Zonophonium. Okay, another one on the table. On table number 2 is a recording of Ronald Chesney, harmonica player extraordinaire, and he's playing some Romanian music. It's the celebrated horror staccato by Dinicu. And being a stickler for Romanian music, let's have a listen. vk3sl testing. Ronald Chesney and the orchestra from the early 40s maybe, I don't know, sounds sort of war times-ish. It's on a Plum HMV, and of course the Horror Staccato by Diniku, and he has plenty of verve. I love that song. I've grown up with the Heifetz version, and in fact I've been able to find a recording of Diniku himself playing it somewhere. I think we did emissions on this actually. One of the early missions on Friday nights we dedicated to this subject. We played a whole heap of different versions of the Horror Staccato, I recall, and I don't know if that one got a Guernsey or not. Anyhow, just mining the archive here, original source material. Well, we're going to move over now to some OTR. I need to leave this room. I need to flex my table tennis skills. People are queuing up for a game, so I think that's what I will do next, and I'll do it to the dulcet tones and the authoritative stance of Roland Strong, I think it is, yes. Right, let's have a listen to D24 from 3DB.
The Victoria Police Force presents D24. From the files of the Victoria Police, for the first time come these true stories of unceasing war against crime, of day and night vigilance that protects our life and our property, and of the nerve center of the Police Information Bureau, D24.
Police station, Constable Stevens here.
Constable, you'd better hurry round to Mrs. Evans' place in Melba Street, quick. There are two men robbing the place.
This is the true story of the railway station shooting. This is a true story from the files of the Victoria Police. Only names, place names, and dates have been altered. Mrs. Eileen Evans lived a mile or so away from the East Malvern railway station. On a morning in September 1936, she locked her house and set off for the city to do some shopping. Little did she realize as she closed her front door that before she opened it again that evening, she was to be indirectly involved in the death of one man, the wounding of another, and the capture by the police of a third. Mrs. Evans left home at about 10 o'clock. For 2 hours, there was nothing but silence in her house. And then, shortly after midday, two men stepped onto her front veranda.
Righto, Lee. Knock.
Yeah. Nobody home.
Knock again. Louder. Just to make sure.
Yeah. They're out all right.
Don't be so sure. Might be out the back. We'll have a look.
Yeah. Yeah, right. All the windows are locked.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? Here we are. Knock on the back door.
Not a sound.
I'll check the wash house here. No one here.
Then let's go in.
Not so fast. I'm going round to the front again.
But why?
Because I say so. And I'm running this show.
Okay.
Come on, then.
These windows look easy to bust open to me.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Now, knock just once more.
Don't let's bother. Let's just go in.
I said knock.
Okay. Now, you satisfied?
Yeah, I am. Unwrap that iron bar and give it to me.
Yeah, all right. Now we're really getting on with the job. There you are.
Right. Now, I'll bust open this front window, hop inside, and then let you in the front door.
Good out. Say, Bert,
Yeah?
what if there is someone in there, asleep or something?
You got a gun, haven't you?
Too right I have.
So have I. So what you worrying about?
But, Bert,
Yeah?
you'd only show the gun, wouldn't you?
What do you mean?
I mean, just to scare someone, like, wouldn't you? You wouldn't shoot, would you?
Wouldn't I? Listen, mate, I'm not going to be caught, see? And no one had better try it, or my gun's likely to do anything. And don't you be scared to use yours if you have to.
But look here.
Shut up. We're going in, and we're getting out again. And no one's going to stop us.
And that's just what might have happened if Mrs. McPherson, who lived opposite Mrs. Evans' place, hadn't been in her front garden with her small son.
Mummy, what are you looking at?
Shh, David.
But, Mummy, what is it?
Those two men over at Mrs. Evans' place. Look, do you see them?
Oh, yes. What are they doing, Mummy?
I'm not sure. They've knocked on the front door, they've been round to the back. Now they're at the front again.
One of them looks like a Chinaman, doesn't he, Mummy?
So he does. Good heavens!
What, Mummy?
One of them's breaking into the front window.
Are they burglars?
I'm sure they are.
Oh, what are you going to do?
I don't quite know. Look, he's opened the window and climbed inside.
Oh, Mummy, I'm frightened.
Oh, now, there's no need to be frightened, darling. They won't come over here. Look, now he's opened the front door, and the one that looks like a Chinese is going in.
But, Mummy, they'll steal things from Mrs. Evans.
Not if I can help it. Come on, David. We're going down to Mr. Wilson's shop to get the police.
Mrs. McPherson was good at her word. And Mr. Wilson, too, proved himself a good neighbor by not only ringing the local police, but by trailing the two men, who had by this time helped themselves to some of Mrs. Evans' property and left the house. He followed them to the railway station, saw them go into the waiting room. Then he hurried into the station master's office.
Mr. Foster.
Huh? Oh, hello, Mr. Wilson. Oh, you look worried.
There are two men in the waiting room. They've just broken into Mrs. Evans' place in Malvern Street.
Really?
When's the next train coming?
Not for about 20 minutes.
Good.
Have you called the police?
Yes, but he'll go to Mrs. Evans' place. You've got to keep those men here, even if the train comes in, while I bring the constable here.
All right, I'll do my best. Be as quick as you can.
Yes, don't worry about that. We'll be back in a flash.
It was a race against time, for the station master would have found it very difficult to detain two armed and desperate men for more than a few minutes. And naturally enough, he was very relieved when, about 6 minutes later, his office door opened again.
Here he is, Mr. Foster.
Oh, am I glad to see you, Constable.
The men are still there?
Yes. Haven't taken my eye off the waiting room since Mr. Wilson left. The porter's at that end of the platform pretending to do some cleaning. I told him to give me the nod if they made the slightest move.
Good. Now, I'll have to question these men somewhere. You don't mind if I bring them into this office, do you, Mr. Foster?
Of course not. You do anything you have to.
Thanks.
Will you need me any more, Constable?
I shouldn't think so for the present. Thanks for all you've done.
Oh, no trouble at all. But I'd better be getting back to the shop.
I'll need a statement from you later, of course.
Oh, yes, righto. Just let me know. Bye, Mr. Foster.
Goodbye. Well now, Constable, what do you want me to do?
I'll just carry on as usual for the moment. Then when I bring them in, if you'll leave us by ourselves for a few minutes.
Certainly.
Then I'll go along to the waiting room now and bring them in.
Constable Stevens had questioned many suspected lawbreakers in the 7 or 8 years he'd been in the force. Now and again he'd struck trouble. But as he left the station master's office on that sunny spring day, he had no reason to suspect that this would be anything but a routine job. And the two men in the waiting room were equally unsuspecting, even if one of them was a trifle nervous.
Wish that rotten train had come.
Oh, cut out the whinging, will you? Everything's gone just as we planned it.
Yeah, but what if somebody saw us at the house?
Nobody saw us.
How do you know?
I'm just telling you, that's all.
Oh, I hope you're right. When do we split up the stuff?
Not till we get back to my place. And then after we've done that, we can start thinking about a couple of other jobs. There's a place out Brunswick, which I've had my eye on for quite a while.
Shut up. Someone coming.
And just take natural. Now listen, mate, I reckon it's this way. If we can get into town at about 2:30, and then go straight round to Burke Street, we... Hey, what's the strength of you walking in and listening to a couple of blokes talking?
I'm a police constable.
Huh? Okay. But we're not doing any harm. Just waiting for a train.
I want to talk to you two chaps.
Right. Shut up. What do you want to talk about, copper?
If you both come into the station master's office, I'll tell you.
We're coming nowhere. We're catching the next train to town.
Now, don't start arguing. Let's go into the station master's office.
You can't do this to us.
I reckon we ought to go, Bert. Come on.
No.
Well, I'm going if you're not.
All righto. But make it snappy, copper. We want to get to town.
All right. You two go ahead. I'll follow.
What, don't you trust us?
Come on. Stop wasting time.
All right. But it's you who's wasting the time. And you'll find that out when we get into the station master's office.
vk3sl.
And so the two men, followed by the young Constable Stevens, started the short walk along the platform. A short walk that was to have a sensational ending. In a few moments, we'll continue this true story from the files of the Victoria Police. This is a true story from the files of the Victoria Police. Only names, place names, and dates have been altered. The outer suburban railway station was almost deserted on that September morning in 1936 when the two housebreakers made their way to the station master's office, followed by Constable Stevens. But although they claimed to be anxious to catch the next train to the city, the two men walked slowly, probably because they wanted to discuss their plan of campaign.
Now remember, Jack, you leave all the talking to me.
Yeah, but what about all the stuff we've got on us?
Never mind about that.
He's got us cold.
Not on your life he hasn't. We got guns. If he gets too smart, I'll pull mine on him, so help me I will.
No, Bert.
Do you want to stretch it in Pentridge, do you?
Can't start shooting cops.
I didn't say there'd be any shooting. There won't be if he's got any sense.
What about making a run for it?
Don't be a goat. And then only a yard behind us. Just shut up and leave it all to me. This the station master's office, copper?
That's it. Just in there. Well, go on, open the door and go in.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Foster. If you wouldn't mind leaving us for a few minutes.
Oh, yes, certainly. I'll be just in the booking office if you want anything.
Well, we're here. What's all the fuss about?
I've been told that you two men broke into a house in Melba Street about half an hour ago.
Don't be silly.
You deny it?
Of course we do. We don't even know where Melba Street is, do we, Jack?
Never heard of it.
Well, my information is that you entered the house by forcing the front window. You stayed inside for about a quarter of an hour, and then you came straight here to the station.
Who told you that?
You were seen at the house and followed here.
You're a liar.
What are your names?
I'm Bert. He's Jack.
Bert what and Jack what?
Find out.
That's silly talk, isn't it? You know I can find out all right. So I go on like that.
I still say find out.
All right. What's in that parcel you're carrying, Bert?
That's my business.
Unwrap it, will you?
Unwrap it yourself.
All right, I will. Iron bar, eh?
Any crime in carrying an iron bar?
And it could be used for forcing a window open.
Could be used for a lot of things. Like wrapping round your skull.
That's enough of that. You seem to be holding something in your coat pocket, Jack. What is it?
Lay off him, will you?
Take your hand out of your pocket. I'll put it as there.
I said to lay off him.
Come on, Jack, out with it.
Take no notice, Jack.
All right, I'll have to look for myself.
Bert, get back, copper.
Oh, so you've got a gun, have you?
Does that change your mind for you?
No, it doesn't. Come on, Jack.
Let him go or I'll plug you.
I think you would, too.
Too right, I would. And I couldn't miss from this distance, could I?
You know you're only making things worse for the both of you, don't you?
Yeah. Put the gun away, Bert.
Not on your sweet life. You get out your gun.
No.
Get it out, I say.
Don't be a fool.
Stay away from him.
All right, you asked for it. No. Give me that gun. Finish him, Jack. Go on, finish him.
Nice work, Jack. You got him with every one. You can't last much longer, copper.
He's gonna die. I'm getting out of here. He's left his gun behind. You'll never get it, copper. Mr. Foster.
Trying to stop the other man. He was too fast for me.
Get that gun from the floor.
You keep out of it, mister.
Gun on. They shot me 4 times.
Then get away, copper. Now I'll fix you.
What? Don't shoot him.
I'll shoot you too.
Got him. Get that other gun.
I can't.
Let me go. Oh, my head.
Good for you, Constable. He's dropped his gun.
I can nearly reach it. Got it. There's another gun. Now it's my turn.
You've got him, Constable.
They got me. Take the gun in case it's shamming. And ring the police.
Constable Stevens had been shot 4 times. In the back, in the stomach, in the arm, in the chest. But in spite of these dreadful wounds, he managed to summon up enough strength to bite his attacker's hand and force him to drop his gun. And then, on the verge of collapse, he fired one shot. A shot that pierced the criminal's heart and killed him instantly. But his accomplice had escaped, and the police net was out.
All right, men. We've got to search every square foot of the area. He might be miles away by now, but we can't help that. Now, you all know his description. About 5 feet 6 inches, wearing a dark blue suit. And all the witnesses say he obviously has Chinese blood in him. Right, you'll report to me at regular intervals to let me know what area has been covered.
Right.
All right, that's all. And we're not eating or sleeping till this man's brought in.
Like looking for a needle in a haystack, isn't it?
Yes, but orders are orders. Let's have a look over this paddock. Could be a likely place with all that tall grass in it.
All right. It's getting a bit dark, though.
I could do with some dinner, couldn't you?
Yes. But you heard what the inspector said. No food, no sleep.
What's the matter?
Nearly fell over that log. A man ought to be careful around. Stan.
What?
That log I tripped over.
What about it?
I don't think it was a log.
What do you mean the log wasn't a log?
It wasn't hard enough. But in this light, it looked like a log.
Are you saying it might be the chap we're looking for?
Let's have a good look at it anyway.
Right. Take it easily, though. He might have another gun.
Just about here.
Jack. Is that you, Jack?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I'll jump on it.
No!
So it is you. Stand up.
All right. But give us a go, will you?
You didn't give Constable Stevens much of a go on the railway station today, did you?
I didn't shoot him.
No.
No. It was Bert Mason who shot him. You ask Bert.
We can't ask Bert.
Why? Did he get away?
Bert's dead.
He's dead?
Constable Stevens shot him.
Ah, don't hand me that. The cop had 4 bullets in him himself. Why, I pumped 3 in a...
So you did shoot him?
Yeah, guess I did. I panicked. I didn't want to shoot anyone. I didn't even want to go to that place in Melver Street.
Then why did you go?
Well, it was like this. Bert Mason said he knew a bloke at that house who had some things for him. He wanted to collect the things and asked me to go with him. We knocked on the door. There was no answer. So Mason said, let's go in and I'll get my stuff myself. And I won't have to come out all this way again. So we went in, took the stuff Mason reckoned was his, and left.
Where's the property you took now?
Here. In your pockets.
I see. All right. You better come with us.
No.
Come on.
No. I'm getting away.
Come back here, will you? Don't be a fool, Jack. Let me go, will you? Let me go. Come on, you can't win. So be sensible. Handcuff him, Stan.
Sure.
Now, Jack, you might as well come quietly.
Yeah. Looks like I've had it, hasn't it? Say, what about that cop that got shot?
What about him?
Is he dead?
No.
This is a test transmission from vk3sl.
Yeah. 4 bullets. He got 4 of them. That's a lot of bullets, isn't it? But he wouldn't give up. He was tough. And I'll say this for him. He was the gamest bloke I ever saw.
Fortunately for the man who so callously fired 3 shots at the policeman, after many months in hospital, Constable Stevens recovered from his wounds. But for his part in the crime, Jack was sentenced to 20 years jail. And for his outstanding courage, Constable Stevens was awarded the highest honor that the force can bestow, the King's Police Medal. It's to men like Constable Stevens that we, the public of Victoria, must be everlastingly grateful. The history of our police force is a proud one, and we know that whenever the need arises, there are highly trained, efficient, and courageous men ready and willing to protect our lives and our property. Let us play our part then, by cooperating with the force whenever and wherever possible. Only names, place names, and dates were altered in this true story. It was dramatized from the files of the Victoria Police by Roland Strong, who now says goodbye until the same time next week, when there'll be another true story in this series, D24, which is brought to you by the Victoria Police Force and produced in the studios of Hector Crawford Productions by Dorothy Crawford.
vk3sl test missions on 160 metres in the narrowband FM mode, and you've been listening to an episode of D24 from the 3DB archives, and we're just testing here, of course, and you can also find the stream. If you want to be entertained, go to the streaming service. It's on YouTube, it's live, and it's also under my call sign. And there's a blog spot as well as a companion to that, vk3sl.blogspot.com. There we have it. We will continue now. I just quickly ran in after 10 games of table tennis, and I think we'll have a listen to a recording of the Walton Violin Concerto. I haven't heard this for ages. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about the SP10. I've let it run for about half the day today. I've just let it go, and I've been monitoring with a stroboscope to see if it's doing anything untoward, and it seems to be okay, but, you know, usual Murphy's Law will be that as soon as I put a record on here, it'll do funny things. I think there's another problem. There must be a rogue capacitor. I thought I'd changed them all, but there may be one or two that I didn't, or it sounds like that's what it is. It's power supply rail. It's very, very sensitive. It has to be quite well filtered and exactly on voltage, otherwise it will misbehave. It goes out of its phase lock loop and does crazy stuff. So I'll be on edge a bit. I will be listening inside, and if it goes completely haywire or stops, may take a moment for me to come and sort things. So please bear with me. So we'll give it a go. We've got to test the equipment here and try things out, and we'll certainly have a listen to this now. This is a recording of the Walton Violin Concerto. It's performed with Yehudi Menuhin and the LSO, or the London Philharmonic Orchestra actually, and with Sir William Walton at the baton. So it's quite a historic recording with the composer conducting, and this is a work originally written for Heifetz, and in the late 30s, 38, 39, thereabouts, and Heifetz premiered it. And Menuhin made this recording in the 1950s. It's it's quintessentially British and full of high drama. So let's have a listen to the Walton Concerto, and I'm VK3SL testing. This is a test transmission from vk3sl. This is a test transmission from vk3sl. Listening to the music of William Walton. In fact, that was his viola concerto, not his violin concerto. That's on the other side. I played the wrong side. But both sides feature Yehudi Menuhin, and that was Yehudi on the viola in that instance. This was a work written in 1929, originally written for Lionel Curtis, a very celebrated viola player of that generation, but he unfortunately rejected the work. He thought it was a bit modernistic. And Paul Hindemith gave the premiere. But Curtis very quickly came around and became an exponent of the work shortly thereafter. So, yes, it did. Eventually, he did warm to it. Anyhow, it's a beautiful piece. Lots of lyrical invention and nervous energy in the middle section. That scherzo, that wonderful wild scherzo full of syncopations. I think there's quite a bit of jazz influence in this music. We should play more William Walton. I just realised what a great composer. Reminds me, I know his cello concerto, we should play that as well. Maybe we'll have a feature and play the 3 string concertos in subsequent days. How would that be? What's the time? 6:15. All right, look, what I will do, since the turntable's holding up, we will flip the side. We will hear the violin concerto now, and then maybe tomorrow I'll play the cello concerto. So the work we just heard was written in 1929. The fiddle concerto comes from a few years later, 37 apparently. And as I mentioned before, it was originally written for Asher Heifetz. And many people have played it and performed it. It's a very celebrated work. And Walton was a genius in the way that he adapted the orchestra. And his signature sounds, his voicings and his orchestration, and I think and that wit, that sardonic wit, is certainly something you hear in all his music. So let's go with side B, which is Menuhin again, this time with the London Symphony Orchestra. Yes, LSO with Walton conducting. Walton lived up until about 1983. He lived to the age of 80. And he had a very long, distinguished career. He was composing for about 60 years. Wrote lots of music. And it's all not that often heard, so let's enjoy some more. vk3sl testing. This is a test transmission from vk3sl. This is a test transmission from vk3sl. What imagination, what scope. Amazing. The music of William Walton, his violin concerto, and recording with Yehudi Menuhin, and the London Symph with Mr. Walton himself conducting that performance in the 60s. Oh, golly. I've got to listen to more William Walton. In fact, I've got a recording here of Piotr Gorski playing the cello concerto. We'll play that during the week as well. That was written 2 decades later. So the 3 string concertos, the viola concerto we heard previous, and then the violin concerto and the cello concerto were all written about 20 years apart from each other. So not quite, actually. The violin concerto was 10 years later than the viola. So we have it. Well, that's it for tonight, folks. I'm going to go inside and see what's on the table. I think there's fish tonight. I think that's the plan. All right. Thank you for your indulgence. This is vk3sl testing on 160.